everybody. This is another episode of the Little Bit About Everything podcast. I am your host, Mr. Jr., the Fermin insurance agent. And today I have, again, a wonderful pleasure of having, someone that I consider, a great colleague and friend, Michelle. But I don't want to steal her thunder, so I'm going to let her introduce herself. And Michelle, go ahead.
Hi, Jose. Thank you for having me. I know we've been trying to connect for some time and do this, so I'm glad that we're able to finally get it done. So my name is Michelle Fermin. I am the team lead of the Fermin Group, and we are with Century 21 Northeast here in North Andover, Massachusetts.
Awesome. So Michelle, so how long have you been in the industry per se? So people just can get an idea of you're a veteran. You're a pro.
Yeah. 25 years. I've been doing it for 25 years. Of that, 20 years with Century 21 and 10 of those years was with Remax.
Nice. So now, just to kind of, how did you get into real estate? I know we've spoken about it, but just to kind of let people know how peculiar that kind of backstory is. How did you get into real estate?
Yeah. Long story short, my mom, who was an immigrant, 25 years ago, wanted to buy a property, and she had very limited income. She was approved for, I think it was $90,000 for a two-family. So whenever we would go to talk to somebody, everybody was like, okay. And even at that time, I mean, it was definitely doable at that time. It's nothing like it was now, but we didn't find what we needed. When I say what we needed, we didn't find someone that was willing to help, someone that was willing to educate. It was more like just poo-pooing us aside. Yeah. So I said to my mom, don't worry, I'll get my license. I'll help you. I did a 3-month course. And then 6 months later, she had her first property. And when her friends and family saw that it was obtainable, right, this American dream, it kind of just snowballed from there. Her friends wanted me to help, and family members. And the next thing you know, I was rookie of the year. I was, full blown in this career that I was really only meant to go in and out of, right, just to help her. But 25 years later, here I am.
Yeah, and you're still thriving, which is this.
Still driving.
And we'll get into that a little bit later on. So now, from this being that you have been in real estate for over 20 years, so
25.
Yes, I said over 20 years. I don't want.
You don't want to age me, right?
You know what I'm saying. I'm trying to respect. You know what I mean? I'm just kidding. No, but so up until even to this day, what continues to drive you, and what is your vision for whether in the short term for you, yourself, and your team, and really long term, what are some of the things that kind of still drive you? What is your vision, moving forward?
So nowadays, my role in the team has really changed. It's more about management. It's more about coaching. It's about recruiting. It's about growing, right? So, for example, right now for next year, we have projected opening up a property management division, a property development division, and then also a coaching division. So those are 3 of the things that are on 2022 schedule. And I plan to do that with different members of my team. Andre and myself are planning on doing something as far as, development and building. And I think he would be the perfect person with that. And then I have several team members that would be phenomenal coaches. One that would be a great coach for first-time buyers, one that would be a great coach for people that want to get into the commercial business. Yeah. So those are all parts of our plan for next year. So for right now, it's how do I grow my team? Now, I say grow my team. I'm not talking about, bring in more agents. I'm talking about them individually. They're really great agents, superstars, but how do I get them to the next level? How do I get them to grow even beyond what we've grown now, right? And how do we expand our business within ourselves? So that's really our plan for 2022. And that's what really drives me now.
That's awesome. So, and again, when we've spoken about this before as well, but, one of the things that I'm really just really fascinated about is the fact that you do have, a pretty significant part of your team is young folks.
Yes.
So as it pertains to their growth, because they have to see it, right? Because you can see it, I'm sure you see it in them, their potential or whatever, but you have to make them see it. So, what are some of the things, some of the variables that you feel are most important in reaching, this, I guess, for lack of a better word, demographic that's such a big part of your team, so that they can continue to see like, yeah, I'm doing well, but I need to continue to grow. I need to either make more or just become more, more involved in real estate somehow. So like you said, coaching, development, property management, whatever the case may be. What are some of the variables that you see or that you consider to be most important in that development of your team?
You mean individually from each
Yes,
agent?
correct.
Yeah. So, one of the biggest factors, even when we're adding a team member, we ask ourselves, and I say we because I do not bring in a team member without consulting with the rest of my team. What value can this person bring to our team? What value can we bring to them? Is this somebody that, is truly in this for the long run, meaning they need to succeed? Not, hey, I said you guys are doing great. I want to be a part of this. Woo, I want to make all this money. That's not the way real estate works. There's so much more that is involved in it. And yeah, there can be great financial returns, but there's a lot of hours, there's a lot of work, there's a lot of, charity work and spiritual growth and, mental growth that goes with it. And there's a lot of it that has to do with just being a good leader within themselves.
Yeah.
So, when we think about bringing someone in, we really look at that person overall and really kind of figure out, is this someone that's going to fit into our family that has the same motives and the same goals and are as driven as we are? You're only as good as the people that you surround yourself by, right? So if you have that one or two agent that just is like, whatever, I'm just going to kind of sail through this, that's not going to work. We really want to be in an environment that I hope that they see me as a leader that's inspirational to them, but I also want them to look around and say, holy cow, like everyone here is doing phenomenal, not only in their career, but in their life and their health and everything else that is involved with that. So that's really, a big part of it. And to kind of go further into that, we do have a lot of very successful younger agents. I want to say Andre's 27. I've known him since he was 14. Frank is 27 or 28 in that age. I've also known him since they were 14. These are kids, and I say kids because they're still, young adults, right? But they're grown ass men, right? But these are young adults that had that passion. It was like, I want to be successful. And Andre reminded me of something the other day, and it really got me thinking. He said that one day he'd come home from school. Now he's really good friends with my son, and they all went to Central Catholic. And I saw that passion in them at a very young age. And he must have been, I don't know, 16, 17 years old. And Frank was over. And I came in and I said, here's a check that I just closed on a pretty big property. Here's a check. And I dropped it in front of them. And I said, if you guys want to make some real money and you are willing to give it your all and grow and push yourself and, push yourself to a limit that you never expected, I'll help you when it comes to that age. And then, I really regretted it years later, because when Andre turned 21, he would not leave me alone. That kid was just, you told me you're going to help me. You told me, to the point that I was like, fine, I'll bring you onto the team.
There you go.
But, it takes that type of person that is willing to get up at 5 and do anything and everything for their clients, and is always willing, wanting to learn, and wanting to be a better agent. So that they could be a better resource to our community.
That's awesome. By the way, big shout out to Dre and to your son Alexis. De lo mío personal, love those guys.
Yeah, and let me tell you, everybody on my team is phenomenal.
Yes.
Jason Martinez is the president of NARUP. Then we have Keishla Wakiki, right? She's the VP of NARUP. She'll be the president next year.
Yep.
And then I have the old souls. And I say the old souls that are people that have, been in with me for a long, long time, and we're talking Kenya, who's been with me for 20 years. Patricia started as my assistant 21 years ago. And I remember saying to her, you're phenomenal. You need to really go after your license. Betty, it's just, there's Zoli, there's just so many people on my team that are so driven and so inspiring. And it's really a pleasure to see them grow. and it's really heartfelt. Zoli sent me a note today, and it literally had me teary-eyed. We do our gratitudes every morning, and we write them down. It's part of um, our daily goals, how do we grow as a person? And she sent me a screenshot, and it said, "I'm grateful for my mentor, Michelle." And I was like, "Oh my God!" I literally started crying. But those things are really important, and those things are priceless when you can see someone become successful not only in their business but in their life, right?
Absolutely.
So that's what drives me.
So let me ask you, because again, this is what you said. You obviously your team appreciates you as a leader, and you have other projects, that we've spoken about too, where you're so involved with the community and things like that. So you spend a lot of time like pouring into people, all right? But then how do you, what do you do to pour into yourself, right? Because I'm sure, you can't pour out of an empty cup type of thing, right? So, what are you doing how do you get, what do you do to pour into yourself exactly to then, bring this onto your team?
I'm a true believer in making your soul happy, right? Being able to spend time with family and friends and meditating and getting to see the bigger picture. So for me, oh my God, travel is just beyond anything. I love to travel, and I love to do it with my family and my loved ones. So whenever I can, I'm on a plane, and that doesn't mean that I'm not working. I always tell my team, I may be somewhere else. I'm just switching my office for the day, right? So I was in Aruba, just I think a week and a half ago, and Patricia and her husband was kind enough to come out, and my daughter and my daughter's friend, and we worked like we do every day, but we worked from the beach, and we were able to kind of just take an hour here, an hour there off, and just kind of look around and meditate and really get in sync with what do I want from my life, and how can I make other lives better. So for me, the travel portion has been a phenomenal reward, along with seeing other people's lives be just as blessed in other ways, right?
Absolutely. So, and then on top of that, like a follow-up question, because I know you travel, and that's one thing, like, it is so cool. We were talking about, I'm a VR guy, so that to me is like,
that's where your heart is.
yeah. So, but hopefully, sooner rather than later, I'll go, and explore other horizons, other countries.
You have
to. But like, do you get coached? Right, because you're such a mentor.
Absolutely.
Okay, go ahead. Expand on that.
100%. I am a huge believer in coaching. Not only do I get coached every single week, I have group coaching with my team. I'm always looking for what else can I drive information from. I'm always looking to go to different conventions and seminars, and the way that I think of it is this: hey, if I can network, and if I can pull even just one nugget from every single one of these sessions that I go to, or blogs, or whatever I'm listening to, if I can improve my life with just one small thing, it's totally worth it. One of the things that I always tell agents is, at the beginning of your career, find yourself a coach, find yourself a mentor. If you can't afford to hire a coach, then create an accountability group. Right? Create an accountability group where, you have other people who have the same goal, have the same drive, and check in with them. That really makes a difference. So not only do I have my private coach, not only do I coach every week with my team, I do individual coaching with them. I also have accountability groups, of other agents across the country that we share similar goals. And, we talk about, hey, not only about real estate, but how can we build wealth? How can we have a side hustle? How can we, improve our own lives in whatever different matter? But I've been doing that for years. And I think that is so important. It's important for your soul. It's important for the people around you. And your older self would absolutely thank you for it. Even, and I hate to interrupt, but
no, go ahead.
I think financial consultants, I've been surrounding myself with people that can really help me understand, how do I grow wealthy? How do I, how do I create security? I've been doing this since I was 21 years old. So at 21 years old, I sat down, and I'll never forget his name. His name was Tom Cilio, from Morgan Stanley. And he said to me, now's the time to do it. And I started working with him. And of course, now at 46, things completely changed. And I have other financial gurus that I look towards, but I always, always, always have someone that I check in with, not yearly, quarterly. And I'm like, this is where I'm at. What should I be doing different? And as far as taxes, as far as retirement, whatever it may be, because they're the experts, right?
Correct.
So find yourself those experts outside of your realm of business, and surround yourself with those people as well, because that's definitely going to be able to help you in your own field, be able to pass that knowledge along.
And speaking of wealth, and of course, the easier we all associate. We all associate wealth with, and rightfully so, with money, right? Accruing money, and obviously having
Wealth is so much more than that.
It was exact. So how else would you define wealth?
Well, again, so for me, I'm older and I've been in this for a while. For me, wealth right now is with my family, with my health, right? But then it's also about creating long-term financial income. So if I ever decide to stop what I'm doing, that I have residual income. So that's been a big part of it, and for me, it's been through accumulating assets, and being well diversified in different things. And that's come with the help of the professionals that I've been working with forever. So besides the coaching, find yourself either the accountability group or coach or mentor, and those, professionals in those fields that are going to help you in the long run.
That's amazing advice. So
one other thing with that wealth thing. One other thing with that wealth thing. I got to tell you, a few years ago, my mom died. And when my mom died, my daughter said, we need to really diversify and understand and be able to just go out there and experience different cultures. And, I had traveled quite a bit at that point, but I really wanted to experience Buddhism and experience, just different religions and different ways of coping with what I was dealing with that time. And I got to tell you, that has been such a part of my own wealth. Now, when I say my own wealth, I'm talking about my own spiritual wealth. That has been so tremendous and has really changed my life. And again, there's nothing to do with money, but it was just being able to hang out and understand and watch and learn from other cultures, right? That has really given me an abundance of wealth in my own peace of mind. That I would have never been able to have done if I didn't take that opportunity and go out there and put myself out there.
And again, that's one of those things that I really, really do, just admire, about you, and none of that, all those things have contributed to where you're at today. So kudos to you. So, and I guess from a personal standpoint, and having these personal values kind of come into business, what do you think are some of the most important value, or some of the most important values that a person, whether it's real estate or just in business in general, can develop in order to be successful and do well in whatever realm of business they're involved in?
Keep an open mind. Oh my gosh. I can't even tell you. I wish that I would have mastered that at an earlier age. I've had a very blessed career, and I really thank all my family and my kids who put up with, all my BS for all these years. And it was a huge sacrifice to them, but, of my clients and everybody else that really helped me. But I wish that I would have kept an open mind and really listen when people said delegate, and really listen when people said, you can't be everything. And for years, I was stuck at a certain number, and I was very successful, but I was like, why can't I get to the next level? And my coach at the time said, Michelle, you need to really let go and really start bringing in other people that are leaders and that can help you grow this, right? And that's what I did. So I said, okay, I'm going to keep an open mind. Let me bring in some other people. And I got to tell you, it has been the best thing that I have ever done. keeping an open mind, listening, and just letting myself get outside of my comfort zone and really, okay, let me take the advice of the professionals who have done this over and over and over and over and over. Because I'm a control freak, right? I was like, I can do this better than anybody else can. And I can't have anybody else touching my files or, working with my clients because they're here for me. Well, they're also here for you. But if you're stretched out so thin, if you are so overworked, then you're not the best person for them. So when you're able to bring in a good team, that's when you can become the best leader and the best resource to your community.
Now, I have to, as you're a realtor, I have to ask, I know we're pressed for time, but is the market going to crash? Is the market going to crash?
There is nothing indicating that. So every major indicator is saying that for the next 5 years, we're still going to continue to see an increase. Now, do I believe it's going to be as crazy as it was this spring, the summer? No, I do think that there'll be an adjustment, not an adjustment meaning that it's going to adjust downwards. But instead of a 10% increase, maybe we'll see a 3 or 4% increase. Here's one thing to think of. All of the major players, I'm talking about, billion-dollar companies, the Morgan Stanleys of the world, the Wilmington Trust of the world, Goldman Sachs, they're heavily investing in real estate and have no plans of slowing down. I had one of my clients the other day that told me they just bought $400 million in real estate, and they're looking for more. They're looking for more. So people with big pockets, deep pockets, they continue to invest. So if the market was crashing, if there was any kind of downside, believe me, they'd be pulling back. They wouldn't continue to shift their business towards that and continue to throw trillions of dollars into this. So no. Do I believe the market's going to crash? No. I just made a major investment. I just made a major purchase. And I've bought several properties this year. Last one being just a month ago, and my plan is to continue to do that. So I do not believe that. And here's the thing too, especially if you're going to buy investment properties. Think about this. When have you ever seen rents go down?
That's what I'm saying. That is exactly.
Never.
Listen, I was telling my dad yesterday, if I'm going to buy a property to have it as a rental, I don't really care what it's worth, because the rental, it does not matter.
Rents are never going to decrease. Rents are never going to decrease. I mean, ever since I've been doing this, 25 years, increasing. Look at your numbers now. And I said this in a session that I did the other day. Let's just take an example of you purchased a property in Methuen, just because this is our area, and you spent $500,000. Great, you've spent $500,000. This is last year, 2020.
That's awesome.
Well, hold on a second. Let's just say you chose not to purchase that. Well, the market's going to depreciate. There's going to be an adjustment, whatever it may be. That same home that you could have bought for $500,000 last year is now $550,000. So now there's a $50,000 increase. But during that time, you're paying rent. And let's just take $2,000 a month. You've now paid $24,000, or you've now thrown away $24,000. Yep. And now you're paying an extra $50,000. So you're $75,000 in the hole just by waiting. So you've thrown away that $2,000, which could have been your mortgage payment, and you could have started building that equity. So, whether it be a single family, multifamily, whatever, unless you're planning on living with your parents, yes, buy. It's historically been the number one way to build wealth. Rents have not, and I never see them going down. And even if there is a small depreciation in pricing, which nothing indicates that, you're in this for the long run. You're in this for the long run.
Awesome. So one last thing before we go.
Yes.
Any parting words, or really any practical, any advice for anyone that's looking to get into the real estate industry? And of course, how can people best reach out to you?
So if you're looking to get into the real estate market as an agent, right? One, determine, does it make sense to be an individual agent or part of a team? What are the pros and cons? What's your long-term goal? If you decide that you want to be a single agent, make sure that you end up with a company that provides leads, training, and support, right? Because you're a new agent. You don't know what the hell you're doing. So you want to make sure that whoever you're with, you're not looking at, oh, okay, if I go with Joe Blow, I'm going to pay less in franchise fees, but there's no support, there's no training, there's no leads. And then how are you going to grow your business? Look for a company that's really going to give you value, going to train you, going to give you that support you need. If you choose to go with a team, make sure that it's a team that's actually going to help you. So I know of a lot of teams out there that just, hey, be part of our team, and great, now you're part of the team, and that's it. The team lead is nowhere to be found. You're not getting any leads. And then what the hell is the value of you being there? So make sure that you really understand fully what it is to be a part of the team. What are your expectations? What are their expectations of you? So do your homework. That's the number one thing I would say. And then number two, again, that coaching, whether it be your team leader, whether it be accountability, whether it be a private coach, mentor, whatever, make sure that you have that type of accountability, because that will definitely push you. That'll definitely drive you.
That's awesome, Michelle.
You're welcome.
You heard it from one of the best in the biz. So lastly, if people want to reach out to you, should they, how can they best do so?
So my cell is 978-423-6545. Again, just DM me, or you can email me at mfermin, Fermin, at c21ne.com. That's short for Century 21 Northeast.
Awesome. Well, Michelle, once again, thank you so much, for taking your time to do this.
You're very
No, go ahead.
I said you're very welcome. Thank you, Jose, for having me.
Absolutely. So just hopefully we'll see each other, in the near future.
Yes.
Maybe grab you don't like coffee or tea, but you grab some water.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. I'm drinking my water right now.
I'll send you a really big hug and say hi to the team for me. And again, hopefully we'll be able to do this again soon.
Thank you. All right.
Bye.